Morton Lave. How are you, sir?
Good.
Good to see you.
Haven't seen you for a while, Anthony.
It's been a while. It's been a while. So you've made a couple transitions. You're at a couple different companies, and now you're doing this JOYND?
Just joined.
JOYND. What does JOYND mean?
So joined it's just a take of putting things together, connecting things, joining things like you do with networking. So we're really a networking technology company.
So your primary focus is switches? Is it Milan?
No, it's the primary focus right now is Milan.
Okay.
We've seen Milan in the sound reinforcement area really being the only protocol that has the time precision necessary to do line of wave where each array is a node. Especially some of the other technologies don't use timing methodologies that are precise enough.
Okay.
And also the cost per node is at a level where it makes sense to have a lot of nodes in the air. So but our focus is really to guarantee to deliver sound to a certain place at the right time.
At the right time.
And right now we see AVB Milan being a way of doing that in certain areas. There's other business areas where other protocols play more. But we're focusing on Milan right now. And we're focusing on sound reinforcement and MI. Because the other thing that Milan has is there's no configuration, no switch configuration needed.
Right.
So it's basically connect and play, which is needed in MI, right? Obviously. It has to work out of the box.
When it comes to connect and play, you're one of the fathers of Firewire, right? How does moving from a Firewire technology to something like TSN, AVB, and Milan be a natural progression for you?
But it is actually all a natural progression because, as you will,
I know these. Yeah.
Because it really all started with Apple and Mike Tiner in the probably late 80s, early 90s, realizing that they needed something that could, a connectivity method that had the ability to do asynchronous traffic, basically repeatable traffic that is guaranteed, a certain bandwidth is guaranteed within a certain time interval.
That's right.
So with Firewire, it was obtained by there being a master device that told everybody which time slot they could talk in. Right? Okay. So it was kind of a TDM method of obtaining that. And for a while it looked like Firewire could be the new media transport because obviously Ethernet has not really put any effort into solving the issue of deterministic delivery. Yeah. So, but then unfortunately due to policies and price per node and certain tech bros thought.
So
then USB was sort of USB actually came in and replaced Firewire as a single master protocol, but Firewire was actually also a network, but it never got a chance to really shine in that area because USB caught up. Right?
I understand.
So, but the methodologies that were used and the people who were were very active in developing Firewire moved over to Broadcom and to Intel and so on, and basically started the whole movement for AVB, right?
And TSN.
Yeah, TSN.
So because it was popular, like, are there similarities? Like you say, Firewire was a network, but not an Ethernet type of network. Like, is it just a natural progression as, like you say, cost per node has dropped?
So there's a natural progression in the sense that the principle is that you have a guaranteed asynchronous bandwidth check.
Yeah.
Other protocols have that today. You have an atomic perception of time, at least among the nodes. All the nodes know within some nanoseconds what time it is.
Yeah.
And then you insert timestamps into your audio data, and because everybody knows what time it is, those timestamps will be equally perceived, and they can be used to drive PLLs and clocks and presentation time. So that's the same. Where other protocols, now it becomes
we're getting in the weeds. Yeah.
So, and also the payload format actually in Firewire was based on ISC 61883 8.6. Oh man, I'm on the spot here.
Or it could have been
that was the
-7.
same.
It's
that
been a
was
long
the
time.
same payload format that was used in the first version of AVB.
Okay.
Milan uses an evolved version that has slightly less payload and have
Okay.
a slightly different packetization. But it was originally totally leveraged from FireWire.
It's really cool to see, you know, that kind of evolution. You know, it's not a revolution, it's an evolution.
Yeah,
And you're right about the cost per node and network switches being dropped in prices.
Yeah.
So what about control? Like, how do we control these? What joins these devices in terms of control?
So now that we have a few standards for transporting media, like AES 67 and AVB Milan,
Yeah.
which, as I said before, cover different areas with some overlap, we've kind of solved that problem.
Okay.
There can be 2 or 3 different protocols. We've seen that in the world before, right? And they can interact because they're based on standards, so they can communicate with them. But with control, well, this is a little bit of a thing for me, right?
Yeah,
because
of course.
I am an AES 70 believer.
You are a believer, Kate?
And Jeff Berryman, my almost fellow Canadian.
He's an honorary Canadian.
Him and I started, he's one of my mentors, and we started all the way back in the early 90s. That was how I got involved in the AES and involved in I think it was called SC10 back then. And we wanted to create a standard for communicating between devices. It was a little early because Ethernet was a little too expensive to put on nodes, so people were thinking RS-232 and stuff. We were thinking a little bit more ahead.
Yeah.
But what came out of it, because it all ended up in a fight about what kind of connector we should use, and then we kind of said, okay, let's just create something called AES-24, which was the object model for how.
Yeah.
And then the work kind of stopped there, but then Harman needed their own protocol, so they created a proprietary protocol, but based on AES-24. QSC based one, also loosely based on AES-24. So there were a lot of good principles in that, right? And then we came to a point where we kind of realized, why don't we all try to get together again and see if we can agree this time?
Yeah.
And that's really what AES 70 is. And in the solutions we provide, we want to provide integration of AES 70 as well.
Yeah.
Our main thing is to our main objective is, of course, to deal with the timing and delivery and the TSN parts of it. But when we integrate control, of course, we want to integrate another standard and not invent a new proprietary standard. And it has to be layer 3. Control definitely has to be layered.
Is AES-70 an important part of Milan? Is Milan being adapted to AES-70 for connection management? How does Milan benefit from the AES standards?
I'd say Milan has its own connection management that goes along with the layer 2 protocol, which is fine within the zone.
Okay.
But in order to be able to control it from outside a subnet, you will want to do some layer 3, and there are a little bit different schools of belief there. Avenue does not deal with that part at all. They just say that is outside the scope of our work. But so what we're doing, as you might know, I've been driving together with a few people from D&B. We've been driving the adaptation of the AES-70 connection management adaptation of Milan.
Yeah.
And that's a standard now.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And so we are working with other partners on implementing that, so we can offer that to our customers, because we believe that's powerful. Several other, both D&B and Adamson are using AES-70 for control of their devices, right?
So JOYNED, you are bringing people together, you're bringing things together, you're JOYNED. So what's for sale? Like, is it the idea? Is it the code? Is it the implementation? Is it the license?
Well,
what is it?
So we typically work with our customers, helping them integrate our IP into their products.
Okay.
So we do not typically sell modules, because we believe in a model where we believe that our customers are much better at sourcing components and having products built than we are.
Yes.
But on the other hand, the millions of dollars of investment to build an R&D department that understands networking, can implement networking, maintain networking, running into compliance testing and stuff like that. So we take care of that, and we have different business models. It's not necessarily a per unit royalty. We have other, but it's a royalty-based system.
You know, it's a fascinating world you live in. I thank you very much for taking the time to sit down and you know, be the first guest on AES Expo Television. Morton, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Anthony, and also thank you to you and AES for putting this on, because it looks like it's really well visited.
Well, it's our first post-COVID kind of activities, so you know, hopefully people are back in the flesh. It's good to see you.
Thank you.